now is difficult part for me. I had to switch to English, or what I call English. And I am very glad to introduce Robert Gavin. Robert is the Director of Alliances for Marketo. How many of you knows Marketo? Few people. Few people. I'm very impressed by the CV, the profile of Robert, because he kindly sent me a resume of his life. So we have an expert here today. I'm very, very happy. And we have an expert that I believe will focus his presentation on these aspects of the digital marketing and customer experience as well. So thank you for coming, and please.
Hello, can everyone hear me? Thank you very much for having me. So today, to address the market, I mean, I know, really quick hands. Do we have any marketeers in the room? Marketeers? A couple. Information officers, people from the data information offices. E-commerce? Anyone from e-commerce? Okay. Anyone from sales? Okay. All right. Well, I could have honed my presentation. All right. I'll try not to insult sales and marketing too much anyway. But what I'm going to do, I have about 20 minutes, I was told. I'm going to give you a quick high level. So if anyone was looking for a product pitch, this is not a product pitch. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, a little bit about Marketo and why we exist today, you know, what we're trying to achieve and how we're doing it, okay? So there shouldn't be any product slides at all. All right, a little bit about me. I'm actually originally from the US. I did my undergrad in the US. I moved to Ireland in 2000 and to do a master's. And in the last 14 years, I have 5 chickens, 4 kids, 3 horses, 2 dogs, and 1 wife. I love them all. My chickens are actually from Tuscany. I think they're the Leghorn version, so that's my only real affinity here. But so that's a little bit about me. Marketo, really quick. Can you hear me if I move away from the microphones? Can you hear me in the back there? Can you hear me? No? No? Okay. A little bit about Marketo really quick. Marketo was founded in 2006, first product in 2007. We're a cloud-based company, but we do a new release about every 6 weeks. And with Marketo, we have a European data center, a multilingual application. We are a data aggregator for Europe. And again, we would have our operations out of Dublin. As I mentioned before, I work for Salesforce.com, so we have a hub and spoke model. We refer to our partners here locally, Web Results, a lot for mainly Italian language and good, strong support here locally. So again, we went public last year, and we're a publicly traded company. So why we exist or what we do, all right? On a very basic level, we are a platform company for marketing automation. All right. What does that mean? That means at the core we have analytics engine that aggregates multiple streams of marketing data, but can also pull data from anything through an open API. You know, so whether we're going to grab data from a CRM system, whether we're going to grab it from an ERP system, a data warehouse, we take that data, we analyze that for the marketeer. Okay? But we also put some smart analytics behind there, and actually predictive analytics, to hopefully get the right information back to the customer's hands. So we would have a number of applications sitting on top of that core that actually deliver those. And when you think about marketing automation, or a marketing automation platform, you're going to think of, you know, email marketing, lead scoring, lead nurturing, campaign and user engagement management. You're going to think of multiple landing pages, all of that in one platform, so one thing for the marketeer. That's what we do, that's what we live and breathe. And we do this over multiple channels. When we think about multiple channels, I'm going to talk a little bit later about, you know, how are you engaging with your customers, where are you pulling that data from, okay? And then actually how are you actually marketing back to them. Those are the multiple channels. When you think of multiple channels, you can think of email, social, you think of your website, your blog, you know, mobile devices, how are they interacting with you. So why do we exist today? There's been fundamental changes in marketing over the last century, Okay, so as you can see up there, in the 1920s, people started to productize things, to put products out in the marketplace. Some of those were snake oils, but they were still sold. And then from the 20s to the 50s, people moved into the more door-to-door salesman. That's when selling really came into its own. And you can find books about that. And then we moved into the what we call the Mad Men era. That's when advertising really came to its own. You looked at what customers were looking for, and you gave them that solution. Now what we're seeing, though, is we have to, as marketeers, we have to build relationships with our customers. We have to interact with them the way they want to be interacted with, and again, give them what they're looking for. And how do you know what they're looking for? You have to look at their behaviors. Over the last 10 years, actually, since I've moved to Europe, since I've moved to Ireland, there's been an unprecedented change in the way people buy. When you think about it, Gartner has 65 to 90% of the selling cycle has been done before people actually engage with a salesperson. So what they're doing now, they're no longer coming to the salespeople to ask them technical questions. Back in the States, I was a technical salesperson for a semiconductor company, all right? So back in '99 and 2000, people would have to come to me and ask me certain information. If they were going to design a new remote like this, there's chips in there, semiconductor chips. They'd have to come to me and ask me, Robert, what's the heat dissipation? What's the CPU? What's the leakage? They'd have to ask me those technical questions. Then as a salesperson, I could control the sales cycle. That now, thanks to Google and a lot of the information on the internet now, that's been flipped on its head. People are doing the buying cycle online. They're doing it before they're actually engaging with sales. They're much more educated buyers in the marketplace right now. That has come to an unprecedented change. So hence, from a marketing standpoint, what are we doing to address that market? What we see now, I'm sorry I can't move. What we see now is we see 5 fundamental shifts in marketing, okay? When you look at these, think about where your company is today, how you're doing marketing, what you're doing with the information that you have, where it is today, and how you're reaching out to your customers. We've gone from, we'll think about, I'll go through each of these individually. I normally have a little bit more time to dive down a little bit deeper into them, but we'll talk about, do you have isolated channels? When you're actually reaching out to the marketplace, how are you reaching out to them? Are you doing email, and then are you doing a separate blog? How are those connected? Are you using an approach where one size fits all, or you're actually giving a custom interaction with each and every one of those customers that you have? When you think about campaigns, how are you basing your campaigns out to the marketplace? Demographic targeting. I'm a 40-plus-year-old male who lives in Ireland, but I have no affiliation to soccer or football, as you call it. You cannot send me an email, I wouldn't be interested. But if you actually note, I am a big rugby fan. But how are you going to know that? You have to look at my behaviors. Intuitive marketing. We've done a lot as marketeers, by gut instincts, well, that's what works, that's what the customers like, that's what we've done last time. How are we doing that today? We want to do a little bit more on the data-driven analysis, data-driven marketing. That's what you're going to hear a lot more about. That's why the marketeers, says Forrester, they're going to control more of the IT budget than the IT people by 2017. I hope some of this is resonating for you. So think about your business today. Isolated channels to coordinated experiences, all right? Now, when somebody gets an email from you, the first thing they do, they normally don't reply to that email. They actually go back, and maybe if they're on a mobile device, they'll jump onto your website, they might jump onto a blog, they might even Google you. How are you actually capturing the information from the email that you sent to that customer interaction on where they looked for you? How are you actually pulling that back across multiple data sources? How do you know if they're a customer of yours if you're trying to sell to them without actually having the marketing information pull that in through an ERP system? How are you taking that customer experience a little bit different than a new business experience? How are you pulling them through what we call a marketing funnel, a sales funnel, and using all of the customer interactions, whether they met an event like this, a physical event, whether they found you on a webinar, whether they've picked you up by an email campaign, or whether they just Googled you through SEO or something like that. How are you actually pulling that back into one place so you can actually see that and then start marketing to them? This goes back to the kind of the theme of the event, the CIO. What are you doing with the data from a marketing perspective, and how are you actually marketing back to these people? We're changing from one size fits all to a personalized experience, okay? What we have is technology. So when you go onto a website, you want to make sure that that website is personalized for that type of a customer. So again, GE would be, I give an example of GE would be one of our larger customers. I'm very happy to have GE as a customer. Now, if Siemens in Germany goes on to the GE website, we would expect that, or Siemens should expect, an engineer from Siemens should expect, even if they don't know who he is, if he's an anonymous visitor to your website, give him a bit of a personalized experience. A, he should have the website in German, and B, he should actually know, or he should have a case study on a manufacturing company. So if Siemens goes onto the GE website in German with a manufacturing website, once he's clicked through that manufacturing case study, the next type of user experience should come up. You should have content that's personalizing to this person's behavior. Okay? Now that, over time, we've actually seen that come with email. So email has come through to say, Robert, please read this email. All right, that's great. Now you want to start personalizing all their experiences, whether that's on email or through your own blog, or actually SEO, pay-per-click, specific advertisements. And you can do that today through technology. You just have to understand what your customer's behavior and what they're doing, and you can actually personalize that experience. Campaigns as opposed to conversations. When you think of campaigns, you think of, it's almost a militaristic term, all right? It's what the company wants to do, with what message they want to send out to the individuals out there in the audience, okay? That's not what the audience wants. Yes, campaigns actually do have some type of a sticky rate, but if you create conversations through marketing, they're going to be able to interact with you, okay? You're going to get a higher customer engagement rate. All right? We measure customer engagement. We measure content. We look at the appealing content. We look at how your customers are actually interacting with you. We're looking at that data from a marketing-specific point of view. The only people out there who are waiting for campaigns are, Apple customers. What's the latest Apple release? When we think of campaigns from a marketing point of view, I always think of one of our customers, Harvard Business School. Harvard Business School would be a great kind of a B2C customer. And when you think of Harvard, you think of, okay, they're a very expensive university. It cost maybe $500,000 to attend. How do they actually target their customers early on? They have to target their customers, and they have to be able to find them, to pull them into, are they interested in the business school? Are they interested in the environmental courses? Are they interested in the engineering courses? And then give them a customized experience through that. Once they've attracted and they've interacted with a customer, with their kind of lead and their prospect, they're measuring that all the way through. Once they've actually pulled them on board as a student, and again, that's where you think most of their revenue comes from, $500,000 maybe for tuition for 4 years, that's not what they're looking for. What they're looking for is actually giving them a good onboarding experience, a good university experience, because after that is the key to the university. Harvard actually wants to hold on to these people for the lifetime. They want them not only to come back for alumni time so they can have mentors there, but they're looking for alumni dollars. That's actually where they get a lot of their money, all right? So when you talk about a customer experience or continuous engagement, you have to think of, on B2C terms, and on B2B terms, but on B2C terms, you think about it as a lifetime experience with the customer. How are you attracting them? How are you treating them as a customer? And how are you bringing them on for their entire life cycle? How are you actually keeping them on as a customer? How are you servicing them today? And that is done through marketing, and it's done through marketing automation. But again, it's pulling that data back and it's pulling it into one source. I think today, we talk a lot about demographics. I mentioned that I was, a 40-plus-year-old male who's actually not interested in soccer or football, all right? So what we have to do today, we can still look at demographics. We still need to look at our audience and say, okay, well, they're buying this product, they should be interested in that product, or they're doing this, they're interacting with us, or they've bought this, so they should want to buy something else. But what's more important now is actually their behavior, whether their behavior is online behavior, on your blog, on your website, whether they're interacting with you by telephone, over email, all right? What type of analysis are they doing? How are they actually interacting with you? You can see in today's generation, now I came down, I flew in from Ireland yesterday. I was on my phone. People actually knew where I was by my Google Maps. I was signed into my own Google Maps. They can actually start advertising specifically for hotels or specifically for things in the Milan area through identifying where you are. All right? You want to do that as a marketing company. The next type of thing you want to think about is the second piece there. That second piece of technology, people are always watching. You're always leaving a digital fingerprint on what you're doing. So that second piece there, people know when you're sleeping, the information around when you're sleeping, when you're awake, the exercise that you get, how are you actually using that information, again, that data, to market back to your people today. Now, you might see that last thermostat there, Nest. Google didn't buy Nest for $3.5 billion, okay, because it's a good technology. They're actually looking for humanistic data, all right, so they can market and sell to you in the future. So as you can see there, that's a whole life cycle of somebody like myself. I've traveled, I've gone to work that day, I've done a certain amount of exercise, I've come home at a certain time at night. Now we're looking at patterns, and how are you actually supposed to market to those patterns? What type of lifestyle, what type of behavior do I do, and how do I market back to that? You need that in an automated engine. You need to do the analysis around that to pull that information together, so when you're marketing in context, okay? I hope these theories are coming through in some form. When we talk about marketing, again, we talk about behavior, analytics, data. This is why a lot of us are in the room today. It's around the information that we gather. How do we move from that gut instinct of marketing to data-driven analytics around marketing? How do we actually look at trends across Europe even? I have a marketing budget. I actually have quite a large marketing budget that I work with through partners. What I do, and because of it's part of it's gut, but part of it's analytics. We all know that in the summertime, the Nordics take a big, long summer break. It's almost for 2 months straight, okay? So and I know that my average sales cycle for a piece of marketing software, once they've engaged with us on what we call a qualified opportunity, it's 60 days. So I don't run any marketing campaigns in the month of June and halfway through May in the Nordics, because my data says that nobody buys marketing software in the Nordics for July and August. What I do is I front load all of my marketing dollars in January, February for the Nordics, and that's for SEO, that's for search, that's for events. I front load it there, all right, because my analytics are telling me I need 60 days to sell something in the Nordics. Then what I do is I'll start my digital campaigns or my partner campaigns again in September, because my analytics are telling me nobody bought anything in July and August. They only buy September, October, November. That's when I start my digital campaigns again. That's where I'm spending my money. And that's smart marketing, because I can reallocate that money to the UK or to Germany, where they are buying, or the Benelux, all right? So that's using your analytics to actually spend your marketing dollars to be more consistent on where and how you're spending and where your buyers are buying. The rise of the platform. This is something that, we talked briefly on a couple of different concepts there on how marketing is working today and how we're actually picking up digital behaviors and how we're actually monitoring multi-channel marketing, but this all has to work through one system. This all has to work through one platform, okay? Marketo has designed a platform, and again, an analytical platform, a behavior analysis platform, to actually help the marketeer. And again, I do apologize to the CIO and even the salespeople in there. We are helping the salespeople, but for the CIOs, this is a marketing platform. All we do is actually want to help the operational aspects of marketing and the digital aspects of marketing. This is built for the marketeers to aggregate all the data and then campaign across their multiple channels. So the bottom line is, you as a marketeer, or you as a customer, or you as a seller, you want to think, how am I marketing today, and how's Amazon doing it? I use Amazon. Amazon's a great customer of ours, and I like to use them as an example because I have a real affiliation to Amazon. I've bought multiple things from Amazon, and I think that they have the right type of touch in regards to they're not overtly selling to you. They're not picking up the phone, buy, buy, buy. But they are letting you know, I'll give you a practical example. I was looking for a pair of boots, kind of winter boots back in November. I was on the Amazon website, I was browsing around, there was a pair of Timberland boots. I didn't buy them, but 2 weeks later, there was a sale. So I got a trigger campaign, I got an email that notified me, "Dear Robert, we know that you were looking at these Timberland boots online, and you didn't purchase them. Do you know that we're having, I think it was a 35% off sale? Are you now interested in purchasing these?" And I did actually go back and look at them. Subsequently, I didn't buy them, but I did go back and look at those boots. But that's a type of good marketing, a good information, and how you actually interact with a customer there. Again, you end up getting real brand affiliation with somebody like an Amazon, and hopefully, using a Marketo, a marketing automation platform, you're going to start thinking about your customer's lifetime experience, what they're doing, and how they're affiliating with your brand. So this is one of the quotes I just love to throw in there, John Wanamaker. We are trying, Marketo as a company, and hopefully digital technology is trying to solve this problem right here. Where are you spending your money? We know that half of it's actually being wasted, but which half? I don't have much more to say. I just wanted to, again, briefly give you the high level on Marketo, a marketing automation platform, what we're doing in the marketplace today, some of the customers that we have. And again, I do want to introduce Web Results. Giuseppe is responsible for Marketo in the region. I was told not to give anything technical, so hopefully on the theoretical side you understand what we're trying to do. When it's time to actually see the platform in action, we will have a local representative, give that presentation to you. All right? Thank you very much.
Thank you.